Hi, welcome back to the stream. Okay, so I have the wood finally, right? I got most of my supplies, so you can see the 2x4s right there. I have the tops and the bottoms. Then here I have the sides and the bottom pieces of the drawers behind it. So the stack on the right is this spacer that I have in the front of the drawers, and then that pile right there is the back of the drawers. Okay, so and then those are just some leftover spare pieces of wood that I have. And then here I've already started constructing the drawers. I'll come back to those in just a little bit. That right there is the plexiglass stack. They're 1/8 of an inch thick plexiglass. So I've ended up deciding, based on Cougar Comics stream, the 1/8 inch pieces of plexiglass or he was using like 1/8 or 1/4, he wasn't sure. But the plexiglass was breaking because when he pulled out the drawer, it was like putting force on the plexiglass. And so I didn't want that to happen. And also because he didn't have a spacer, his comics were like hitting, falling on top of the plexiglass and bowing it out. And I didn't want that to happen. So I was thinking about going like to a thicker plexiglass, but that was really expensive. Like just to go up 1/4 of an inch or, go up double basically from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch was like doubling the price, and that was getting really expensive. The peeps that helped me out with the varnishing and the stain of all of these lovely wood pieces and the cutting and everything, they had some plexiglass that was 1/8 of an inch thick, and they were willing to give it to me for free. So I was like, I'm going to take that. And so I ended up having a bunch of spare wood left over. So that was the spacers that you saw over on the other side of the wood that you're seeing right now. That stack, basically, it's going to be a spacer in the front to prevent the comics from falling forward and hitting the plexiglass and pushing it and bowing it out. And then I will have plexiglass in the front, and I have space, in a sense, for one comic book that I can put there. So it cuts off a little overall space in the drawers, but I think it'll be worth it when I see the finished look. So yes, stack of plexiglass. Then let's see, I have a pocket hole jig that I bought from Home Depot. It's a K3. When I put the top pieces on the boards, those top pieces right there, I want to not have like screws in the top of the wood, because it has such a nice finish and it looks really pretty that I don't want to mess with it. So I figured, okay, let me just go ahead and do pocket holes for the top pieces of the cabinet. So the pocket holes, if you don't know, are basically holes that will come in from the bottom. I didn't know before I did this. I Googled it. But they're basically holes that you put in the, like on the sides and the backs of the cabinet, and they sort of go upwards. So it's like you're drilling into the top piece. So the screws and all the ugly stuff is inside. So I have the pocket hole jig. I'll talk about the screws. So in just a second, I have the sliders. I have 24 sliders because I have 24 drawers. Each is a pair in the kit. They were about $15.98 for those. I have a screwdriver that I had at home, just a Phillips, just in case I need it. I got a few things. Let's see. Okay, so this here is some screws that I got to deal with the Kreg. So this is the pocket hole screws. You have to get a special kind of screw for those, and I needed a bunch more because those are pretty big pieces, and I needed more than the kit comes with. Here I have these are going to be for the plexiglass on the front of the drawers, because I needed something with a flusher. It was like I had to get the most flush screw I could just for a nice finish, and also I wanted to get something that would hopefully not split the plexiglass or cause too many cracks. But I have to go really slow when I do these. So that was for the plexiglass. Then these right here are some construction screws. They're number 8s, 1 3/4 inches. So I could not find 1 1/2. And so I could only find 1 1/4 and 1 3/4. So I felt like it was better to go up than go down in size. More grip is better than less. So they're coarse screws because I have birch plywood So I needed coarse screws for that soft plywood. And it was, you know, good in any construction situation. And it's 143 pieces. I might need more, but I figured I'd start with a pound. They go for about like $6 or $7 for those packs. I'll go over which screws I use for the drawers when I get to it because they're over in my work area. Then I got this. This is just a little clamp. It was $4. Not sure if I'm even going to use it. I haven't used it yet, but in case I do, it's there. I might have to return some stuff to Home Depot if it never gets used. These are just some general drill bits. I ended up not using these. These I had at home. Let's see. I got a level, which I haven't used yet, but this is going to be for the sliders anyway. So when I attach the sliders, I want the sliders to be level. And then, let's see. This is what I got that I ended up using a lot of. It's Countersink drill bits. So here's the thing. When you're building these drawers, you have to put in a pilot hole because the holes, the wood is 1/2 inch thick, and the screws are so big because you want to get a nice grip that they're going to split the wood if you don't put a pilot hole. And so then I saw Cougar Comics, and he of course suggested a pilot hole, but then he was like using 2 drills and like drilling a pilot hole and then doing a countersink on that, and it was just, it looked a lot extra than I really wanted to do. Plus, you know, I have one drill that fits my hand and is heavy, is light enough for me to use. So it just was a lot of extra that I didn't want to deal with. So I ended up getting these countersink drill bits. It cost about $20, but it was worth it. It comes with a number 6 and a number 8. So my 1/2 inch plywood drawers, the screws that I'm using for those are number 6. So it worked out well. And then the number 8 is the one that I'm going to use for the 3/4. So again, I got a pretty good deal. They do come separately, but it was basically going to cost me $20 for 6 and 8. So I figured, why not get the 3-pack in case I ever decide to use a 10. And these things are adjustable. So right there, it comes with an Allen wrench, and then you can just adjust it to the size of the screw, and then ta-da, you're done. Okay, so that's about it. I need to put that back. Let me go ahead and get this. I'm going to put up this video, and then I will head over to the drawers and give you the lowdown on those.